other must conclude that killing criminals is acceptable to protect the innocent one. So to enlighten the mind of the students in different universities, I would appreciate it if you take time to listen. Death penalty should not be implemented because it is contrary to the Catholic teachings. Last year, even Pope Francis himself appealed to all Catholics to help abolish death penalty. The Catholic body is against capital punishment because it does not believe in taking away the human life. They are pro-life because it is not in their hands that the offender must die, but in God's will. Life imprisonment rather than capital punishment is found as more sufficient solution to keep the criminal alive whilst not endangering the public safety. There are some human rights that are so deep that we can negotiate them away. I mean, people do heinous, terrible things, but there are basic human rights, and I believe that every human being has. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights says it for me, and it says that are two basic rights that can't be negotiated, that government doesn't give for a good behavior and doesn't take away for a bad behavior. And it's the right not to be tortured and not to be killed. Because the flip side of this is that when you say, okay, we're gonna turn over, they truly have done heinous things, so now we will turn over to the government now the right to take their life. It involves other people in doing essentially the same kind of acts. Killings is always not a solution for another killings. Either mistakes can't be solved for another mistakes, so no one deserves to die. When the government meets and vengeance disguised as justice, it becomes complicit with killers in devaluing human life and human dignity. In civilized society, we reject the principle of literally doing to criminals what they do to their victims. The penalty for rape cannot be rape. As for arson, the burning down of the arsonist's house, we should not therefore punish the murder with death. Imprisonment is the way more effective. It primarily protects society against crime and to reduce recidivism without any killings. Also, we should be futuristic about the what-ifs. What if it is used in our country? Then the peacefulness could be turned into warlike. When the victim said, "Oh, you're the murderer," just after 1 second, you're dead. What if the family of the suspect didn't agree? So they will take a revenge, of course, in a harsh way. Then it starts the complex. To make things more evident, I will discuss or explain the 5 reasons why death penalty is unacceptable in our society or even in a neighboring country. First, it's inhuman. The Convention Against Torture and Other Cruelty. Inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment. It is intended to prevent actions considered inhuman. Second, the death penalty disproportionately affects certain groups. The death penalty is not a good example of blind justice. Study shows that the mentally ill, people of color, and poor make up the majority of death row inmates. Third, the death penalty can be used as a tool for control, not justice. In theory, the death penalty is only intended for as punishment for the most serious crime like murder. Fourth, it can't be undone if new evidence is revealed. What makes the death penalty distinct from life in prison is that the judgment can be reversed. It's final punishment. However, what if new evidence is discovered and it turns out that the prisoner was innocent? Lastly, it doesn't determine the fact that it doesn't prevent crime may be the most significant reason why the death penalty is wrong. Short, capital punishment doesn't solve our society crime problem. Threatening capital punishment leaves the underlying causes of crime unaddressed and ignores the many political and diplomatic sanctions.